That's right. It's that time again for the best damn opening, in Facebook and YouTube live history. Sorry, I'm in a good mood, so you guys are in trouble tonight. What? Whoa! Assaltante Oso, that bear you all know, out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation. What? You heard me, and so did everyone else. R8RBEAR Live, because other shows suck. Often imitated, never duplicated, that fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! No, seriously. Woo! The R8RBEAR! Stop it. No. R8RBEAR! I don't take stuff from anybody, not even me. It doesn't have to make sense. All right, everybody, what's up? What's up? What's up? That's my opening. And I had to say, welcome to the show. I'm your host, R8RBEAR, R8RBEAR Live. And I appreciate you all, as always, tuning in. Please remember to consider a subscription to R8RBEAR Family Page. Now, why do I say that? Because we do work with charities all over the world every single year. And stars contributed to the show and subscriptions go directly to charities all over the world. And more importantly, we have one hell of a cool little bit stuff on auction tonight. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, you probably should go, just take a moment, back out of the show, go on to my site, R8RBEAR Family Page, and just look at, it's on Facebook, sorry, I don't have it up on YouTube. But this flag is sick. It just basically says the most notorious fans, Raider Nation. And then I have this sweet car auto emblem and your black on black, no plastic, tink tink, all metal. Take my word for it. Pretty nice stuff. All three things together in my auto fan package tonight to the contributor of the most stars will go those 4 fine items. Oh, that's right. There's a mystery super secret down low extra thing that I'm going to put in there. And I'll talk to you about that in a little while. Tradish! Sorry, I got lost there. R8RBEAR Live. First comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to that Moji Bacon son of a gun, Mark Vargas. You know, Mark, I know we have this beef, this intense beef between us about how you left me, you know what I mean, and how you left the desert behind, and that's fine, we don't blame you. A worthy champion I have not had the likes of in quite some time, Mark Vargas. Second place, silver, S.A. Big Dog. What's up, D? You see, I took that other, just D. What's up, D? I'm not adding the big part. We're not doing that anymore. It wasn't working well. Third place, bronze medal goes to RDG. RDG, what's up? Welcome to the show, brother. Listen, that bronze medal Careful with it. Okay, now if you're single, it's cool. You take it out on the beach with you. It looks like a gold medal. I got a tan with you on the beach. You know what I mean? Pulls all the girls. If you're married, don't do that. But if you're married, keep it quiet. Keep it in your underwear drawer. And then that night, you want your wife to get particularly, you go get that and wear it before you go to bed. It works every time. I don't know. First place, gold medal. My Facebook fam. Carlos! Boy kids! That's what I'm doing from now on. If you get a lot of silence and a big long pause for a dramatic feel, that's Carlos Boykins. Just know that in the future. Second place, silver medal, Lucky Pace. All right, third place, let's go. Lucky Pace! What's up, P? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Lucky Pace, met him in person. Cool guy. If you get a chance, you're at a Raider thing and he's there, go meet him. Cool guy. Third place, my bronze medal goes to, Lucky. Are you single, Lucky? I can't believe you're single. Are you single? I don't think you must be married or something, right? I can't believe you're single. I can't remember seeing you with anyone though at the event. Are you single? Ladies, all these Raiderettes, all these fine Raiderettes, and not one of you has bagged Lucky Pace yet? Yes, I know him back when he was Luck-I Pace. None of you Raiderettes bagged Lucky Pace yet? What's up with that? Third place, my bronze medal goes to Joe Holman, quickly becoming one of my more favorite viewers. Joe, what's up, bro? Now, Joe, what I need you to do is dye a black strip down the middle of yours. See, I just leave the white in a strip on mine, so you got to make yours mostly white, like you have it, and then just put a black strip in the middle. I'm telling you, man, we would look like twins. Honorable mention goes out to John the Lion. Leon, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. And David, whoa, thought he caught me slipping. David Pell. Why am I doing that? He didn't win a medal tonight. Kaliva, because he's a legend, and legends get that around here. We're going to talk about football. I swear. We will. I swear we're going to any minute now. Any moment now. Minute or moments. It'll be mere mo-minutes. Did I just make a thing? Mo-minutes? I like that. Mo-minutes. All right, so let's just get right to it. So the stupid schedule came out, and I have to talk about the stupid schedule because people like to talk about the stupid schedule. And I think the schedule is stupid because I don't care if it's hard. If it's hard, that's better. It makes for a tougher team. So now when you get to the playoffs, you don't have to wonder if we're playoff tested. We are. We played everyone, and we played them tough. We beat everybody up, even in games we lost. We were rough, and we were running the ball and beating them up on defense. And we lost 14-17, you know what I mean? Certain games. You know what I mean? That'll be like one of our 2 losses. All right, we might get more than 2 losses this year. Hey, look, I'm starting to get excited about this. I'm sorry. I'm not like other people. When you bring on a new regime, that like literally can take on the word of transformation. It's not just a rebuild. When you always think of the word rebuild in your mind as athletes and fans, we think of this long-term project that's going to take 2 or 3 drafts to build it. And then over a period of 6 to 10 years, we hope to make a run with the nucleus. You know what I mean? All that's the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know what I mean? Well, 70s and 80s. The 90s started to show you the idea of, hey, you know what? We can dump 6 guys. Go out into free agency, grab 6 guys, and then cut 4 guys. Go into the draft, bring in a few guys, and then have a few slots still left when we get to the process of going to camp and mini camp and so on. And so that's what the league has become now, a not for long NFL. meaning NFL, not for long. It's really what it means, like never before. And it isn't even like what the guy who originally coined the phrase was an old coach for the Atlanta Falcons. And I can tell you honestly, what he meant at that time is if you're not very good. But in reality, that meaning of that saying now has changed. Not for long means you're not going to be here very long, whether you're good or not. If I put together a nucleus and we win 13 games and then we go to the playoffs and we get bumped in the first round, I mean, I don't care if we won 13 games or 16 games. You know what I mean? If we don't win it all, then you built a team that can just get there. You know what I mean? You almost got there. You know what I mean? And you know, like the Niners. You know, that hurt for two reasons. One, because it was hilarious timing, and two, putting foots in them. Okay, so maybe there's three things. And the third thing is because it's true. They've done nothing but year after year after year build dynamic teams with impactful defenses and creative offenses, and it has produced... Let me say that again. One of the smarter phrases I've used all day. They've made that nothing. Bubka. And I don't want to hear any more about their cute little 7th round pick that looks like a paper boy. He looks like a Mormon. And there's nothing wrong with Mormons. He just looks like one. Not a tough guy that would be playing football. It's ridiculous. By the way, did I mention Steven Shaw getting us started tonight? Bob Sander, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Let's see. That's my guy right there. The NFL prepared because 2025 Raiders are going to bring the pain and a commitment to excellence. Bob, not only do I agree with that, I'm starting to really, now that we've had a chance to look at the draft picks we have, aren't you actually more excited? I mean, the 2 offensive linemen we picked up look like they're just monsters. And then more importantly, that linebacker we got in the late last rounds, he is a badass. I mean, speed, lateral movement. Okay, now. I'm going to go out there a little bit on this one. Okay, I'm going to go out there a little bit on this one. But you guys remember the linebacker, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. I absolutely should remember his name. It'll probably come to me, and it should, but I'm struggling with it right now. But, okay, I got it. See, I just had to think about it for a second. Okay. The middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears, Brian Urlacher. I'm getting Brian Urlacher vibes off this guy. And I'm telling you that because I was already excited about him. When we made the pick and I watched the video, I love the energy, I love the attitude, I love the personality. He also looks like a Mormon. Just a sweet, clean cut, nice little clean cut haircut. He just, if you saw him at a mall walking around, you would never, ever know he was a linebacker. Never. He just looks like a sweet guy. You know what I mean? He looks like he runs a Mormon church. What's with Mormons tonight? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I just got that really clean cut look in my mind, of the short haircut. Like a pink or bright blue, like polo shirt, buttoned all the way up. And then, of course, the brown khaki shorts with the extra pockets on the sides. Oh, and either thongs or white shoes with low-cut ankle socks. Every time. Bob, I'm going to get back to that. I haven't been able to do the supporter show because just people haven't been able to come on the time I've been normally doing it. Bear, do you see any more big name signings for us before the official training camp? Honestly, I don't. Now, when you say now remember, you put in the word big name. I don't see big names, but do I see names? Yes, I do see guys potentially coming. But it's going to be the same kind of guy, that if we brought him in and he's, a veteran and looks like he may only have, a couple years left under the tank, but he does. and we just get him at that point, like the Raiders often have in our past. So everyone that's young, that's with the show, everyone that's young, that's with the Raiders, I'm not calling you out. I'm just simply saying my younger Raider Nation fans that may not know our history as well in the past, just know that that was literally a thing for the Raiders. We used to act like that hotel that used to have the famous commercial where they say we keep the lights on for you so that we'll welcome you no matter when you're coming in. That's kind of how the Raiders were with former players, especially guys that were like all-stars in their prime, and they had a great play, a great career, a great legacy left behind, but they don't want to walk away yet. They feel like they just have a little more, but their own team won't bring them back. You know what I mean? And we saw that one of the most famous instances with that was Joe Montana, who wanted to prove to the Niners that he still had it, and he went to the Kansas City Chiefs and proved that he still had it. But we do that a lot more. They kind of ripped that off from us. And we do trade pieces back and forth with the Chiefs and the Broncos throughout history. Oh, Corinna, stop it. I wasn't even on. I got too busy. I was working and I couldn't come on the other night. Ellis Irving, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I'm doing great. Just want to talk this football with my Raider Nation. Jesse Parker, what's up? Piano Man, what's up, man? I appreciate you, man. That's real kind of you to say. I really do. I appreciate that, man. We got a lot of early game time slots this season, unfortunately. Lucky, I feel like that was where some of the sabotage was. We have a lot of early games, and then suddenly at the end of the season, I can't remember exactly what the order was. I think it was... let me see. Hold on. I'm looking at it now. Okay, so it was home for the Bears, home for the Jaguars. No, I'm looking at that wrong because they wouldn't have that in the row. I don't have that image of the schedule up in front of me. Well, I looked at it earlier. I'm sorry, and I know it was like home, away, home, away, something like that. It's ruckus. You know what I mean? Just the way they did that at the end of the schedule. I don't know. To me, that looked fishy. Now, again, I will say, I don't care. I don't care. We're not for one. Even if you do agree with what I just said, that looks like a little fishy. Like the season is almost trying to be tinkered with by the league to make it just a little harder for us, to make it that much more likely that maybe one of our players gets injured out of fatigue. Maybe we lose one of our veterans because of fatigue and extended flights and so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah. It's not like we're the only team that's happening to. If you look at some of these other team schedules, there's a lot of other teams getting screwed really hard. Really hard. And I look at this schedule, and to me, it looks middle of the road, if you ask me. This schedule looks middle of the road, if you ask me. It doesn't look particularly tough or easy in any particular way. I think the interesting game, being away on the road against Washington, I think that's going to be a real test. Obviously, we get Kansas City twice, but I believe the first time we get them at home. So the last time we go into them toward the tail end of the season, I thought that was kind of, throwing raw meat us to them to see if they can get toward the end of the season win on us, and I just, I don't like it. But anyway, I don't see that as particularly harder though than any one of these other teams, and the Niners are the only ones that really have a schedule that to me makes no sense. How do you have a team that plays that well for the last 3 to 4 seasons, and then you give them statistically the easiest schedule amongst all teams in the NFL? Look it up. They got the easiest schedule amongst all teams, and I gotta watch what I say because I'm not trying to start conspiracies, but I mean there is a certain amount of rigged to these things. You have to remember it's no different than when you were a kid and you went with your parents to go to the circus and see the animals and all that stuff under the ring top. You didn't get hung up on whether or not they were obeying the rules or whether it was scripted how the elephants and the tigers played with each other. None of that mattered. You just enjoyed the show. See, with sports, that's been lost. We don't enjoy the show anymore. They've ingrained stats and tenacity and legacy and all these things into us as fans that we're looking for from them as athletes. And it's so much harder now to be a successful, great athlete today than it was in the 80s and 90s. And not because the 80s and 90s football was easier. If anything, it was harder. But the players were allowed to just be football players. You know what I mean? They didn't have the same obligations that players have now to mini camps and off-season interviews and, oh, I'm going to sponsor this and film 5 commercials and, you know what I mean? They didn't have all those things back in the day. I mean, back in the day, they just didn't have so much of that as they do now. Yeah, Jerry Glanville, that was right, Jesse. Thank you. We got a lot of early game time slots. I just read that. Just want to make sure I didn't miss that. I'm not using no looks like my age works in my favor every once in a while when I come across some young buck who thinks I'm too old to dance, if you know what I mean. Right on, Joe. Steven Shaw! You got to meet Brian Urlacher? Okay, that's hella cool. I didn't know he was from New Mexico. I thought he was from Arizona, but I guess New Mexico, Arizona is kind of the same thing. Egolitarian. Am I reading that right? Egolitarian 207. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. I like the white tiger. All right, let me see. Hey, what's up, Bear? Yeah, I know the backyard, the backwards. You are getting it. Piano Man, I absolutely am a fool. Raider C-Dub, what's up? Welcome to the show. I just secured my tickets for the home opener. Nice. See, that's what real fans do. Get it done early. Damn, the Chargers made me tone it down with the hazing. I would feel some type of way if people didn't let me enjoy the season. Piano Man, I got to tell you, the Chargers have more flight miles than I think just about everyone in the NFL. They're really going to be ragged coming into the second half of the season. And I don't think they have a good team. I have tickets as well for the home game. Nice. Larissa Astorga. Oh, I like that. Larissa. Wow. 2 great names. Larissa Astorga. I love that. Welcome to the show. Let's see. Louis Hogan. What up, Bear? I think the first home game against the Chargers is key. I think that will definitely be a test because we know that they're in the process of, becoming a better team. I don't think so personally. I think their coach is overhyped. I think that he got all that cred from his time with San Francisco, i.e. the Niners, and I just think he got a lot of cred from that I don't think he deserved. I think he's a rah-rah coach. I think when he went to Michigan, that got exposed. It wasn't until his last season in Michigan that he broke a bunch of rules and finally was able to recruit a bunch of guys in and then had the equivalent of a cheating scandal, whether it was actually cheating, but they had some guy on the sidelines. Most of you probably saw it on Netflix. If you haven't, you should watch it. It's pretty good. But they had a signal stealer on the sidelines that was like the best that's like ever. Literally created an algorithm on his computer that told you what other teams were doing. It was insane. If we would beat some teams that we're not supposed to beat, like the Commanders, that would be stellar. Well, let's not say too quickly, Larissa, that the Commanders are a team we're not expected to beat. They're still pretty young. We have to remember, Jaden Daniels was a rookie. Now, he didn't play like one, but at the same time, we've seen a lot, I emphasize, lot of quarterbacks come into the league, have an incredibly explosive rookie season. Now, mainly because you don't have tape on him. You see, when you don't have tape on a guy in the NFL, the stuff you see in college means nothing. Because their cadence, the way they move, the way they hold the ball, everything changes. Haven't you seen that? I mean, there are guys, they come into the league from the NCAAs and they're running around with the ball like this. You never see that when they get to the pros. They have that ball in 2 hands and they're running with it like that. And if they get to one hand, guess what happens? They get chewed out, even if they complete a play. You know what I mean? Because you put the ball at risk. You can't do that. And so, I don't know. We'll see. But I just feel like the Commanders had the process of a new team in effect with a new name, same colors, but, they had a lot of hype and excitement. They brought in some decent players. And then Jaden Daniels worked out. But I would remind everyone of what happened with the Texans. You know what I mean? They brought in their kid, had an all-pro, almost kind of rookie season, and then regressed and had a sophomore slump. Doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens a lot. Raiders at Chiefs, week 7, and 18 Chiefs at Raiders. Okay, so I did have it backwards. Okay, I like that because see, I had it backwards. See, if, to me, if it was the other way around, Bob, that would have been like kind of sabotaging the wheels on the truck. But since we play the Chiefs in Week 7, and then we catch them at the end of the season in Week 18, see, now I'm in love with that. I'm absolutely in love with that because remember, we catch them Week 7, and we have to go on the road. But by Week 7, we're going to know who we are. I mean, there's not going to be the same rustiness of education level catching up with what Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly want us to do, both on offense and defense, and bringing a lot of guys. Okay, and remember, a lot of new guys to the system. And remember, guys, we're running a new system. This is the first time. So, Gino's going to have some miscues. There's going to be, issues here and there. There might be a snap that's too early that maybe hits him in the face and he wasn't ready for it because him and the center are on the same page because they're both not on quite the same page of the new offense, etc., etc. We got to watch for those things. But if we can minimize the early learning curve and come out of those first 3 or 4 weeks looking good, if we do, by the time we face them in Week 7, we should give them the business, know what we are, and be able to give them the business. Raider DeVillion, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. A lot of talk about trading for Ramsey. I say if that would happen like Dion and C. Wood, I'd move him to safety at his age. Okay, Raider DeVillion, I would also say yes, I've heard about that too, but with the Ramsey thing, and I know you kind of know this, so I'm saying this, for my whole audience, not just yourself, but a veteran player like that usually signs late, no matter where they're going to go, whether they're going to stay with their team on a new contract or go to another team on a new contract. Usually they're the last guy that you deal with because the general manager is going to have the greatest struggles with agents of young players coming in, getting everything finalized with their guaranteed money and stuff like that. All of that takes way more time in negotiation than a veteran player who has, exact minimums. It's shown like a player at a certain age, at a certain point in his career, if he's owed a certain amount, you can't go below that. Things like that. It's really easy to sign the late guy. So if we do say sign Jalen Ramsey, it may be fairly late, maybe a little while before we see that. Quick reminder, go to my page, Raider Bear Family page, Facebook, and you'll see I've got the notorious Raider Nation fans flag right here. I've got the Car Raider logo emblem and the license plate to the contributor of the most stars tonight. Will go, these 3 items at stars contribute to the show, go directly to charities. And the 4th item that I was going to include as a surprise, because I've been telling everyone that I'm out of these, and I was out of these, but every once in a while when I clean my room, I'm being honest, I come across more. Oh, it may be my last one. So if you have a sweet Raider vest or a sweater or a jacket that you really like and you'd like to put on that Raider Bear blackout patch, check it out. I got it right here, and it's going into that package tonight to the contributor of the most stars. Will go. That fine item. Marvin Suarez says, Bear, how do you think we'll line up against KC, Cool Arrows Club, this season? I'm excited that we play them early in KC. Don't think that KC has that same oomph anymore, and I can wait to witness that downfall and pillage that TP all over again. Well said, Marvin. Welcome to the show. Okay, so I would say this to you, bro. The Chiefs are in decline. They're still obviously very dangerous, but they're kind of like the Golden State Warriors at this point. They're very dangerous. They very well could win a title, but they need things to fall in place. They need guys to stay healthy that traditionally, like their tight end, don't. And so I could see Travis Kelce. I could see a situation where the Chiefs are going to have another good season, but it's going to be a little bit rockier this time. They're probably going to catch at least 1 or 2 more losses than they did last year, and they'll probably have to fight their way into the playoffs a little bit here. But I don't think it would be anything worse than a wild card. And I know we have 2 now, so I don't think they would be outside of that. You know what I mean? And they still could win the division, but will they? You know what I mean? That's the thing. I think they've been weakened enough that the Raiders or the Chargers Well, the Raiders or the Broncos could sneak up on them and do some things. Now, the Chargers, I'm not worried about at all. So when you want to talk about the Chargers with me and you want to ask me questions about how I feel that we're going to play them and things like that, I can answer that. But when you ask me about the Broncos, I won't lie, I'm getting concerned because some of the moves they're starting to do really do look smart. They really do make sense. They're trying to fortify their running back position. They've, did some work in their defensive secondary. They took a chance on Bo Nix. That looks like that might be working out. Now we got to see more from Bo Nix. Obviously, he was kind of hit and miss, especially to begin the season. But if he has another good season this year, got to kind of worry about that guy long term. He might have earned the job and might be good for a while. The only really good news I can promote for sure is that the Dallas Cowboys still suck. Put foots in a... Sorry. I have a special hatred for them. Hey, Joseph Bear, I tried to thank you for the shirt the other day, but Facebook was acting a fool. Oh, no, I saw it, bro. You put up the... Yeah, I saw it, bro. Steven Shaw! Steven, just keep doing that every few minutes. Just leave them in the dust. Because at that point, whoever's in second or third is going to have to put up at least $25, $30, to beat you. And I'm giving out a second and third place prize if the betting gets out of hand. So if somebody doesn't want to see Steven Shaw walk away from that, you go get him. I was in no way talking to Corinna Trujillo. No, not doing that. That was so blatant. Well, the panhandle over here. It's all good in the hood. We have Jim who brings coins. Okay, Oucha, Sunshine, number 10. Jim has a few plays in him, but you got to love the culture. Piano Man, honestly, I'm not a Harbaugh guy. I never have been. I wasn't impressed by what he did with the Niners. I think if you want to talk about Harbaugh's, we need to talk about his brother. His brother can coach. That guy can coach. You know what I mean? Now, as far as Jim, I don't feel it. And I can tell you honestly, I met Jim Harbaugh in person, and I met him way before his time with the Niners and all that. This was way back when he was pretty young. You know what I mean? And I didn't like him then. You know what I mean? I didn't like him then. There's this like salty old sailor man. This is my ship, and everybody will do what I say on my ship. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or sink to the sharks. You know what I mean? And he had that attitude even then. I don't like that. He plays like he's Bo Bryant, and he's more like Bo Diddley. That's my guy right there. What's up, Shane? Welcome to the show. I saw that Raging Raider Rhino bling, brother. Looking good, I'm sure. His is big. I have it right here. It's pretty dope. You think I'm kidding? Look. I had to get his, too. His is bigger than mine. I didn't go with the super big size. He went with the super big size. I went with the smaller one. I may go with the super big size if I do a... How many am I on now? I was going to say a third medallion, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, if I do a third one, I'll probably go bigger on that one. What do you think of the John Madden Al Davis film that's being worked on right now? Creating new fans for our turn around with Brady, maybe? Jonathan Joseph Fernandez, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I would say this to you. They are getting us ready for that. But I think it's because I think the league knows what Pete Carroll is. They know what he is. They know there's a chance that he could catch fire with us. And if he does, I'm just praying that we're able to convince him to stay for 2 more years. If we get to winning this year, I'm not even talking about the playoffs, guys. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? One more? No. No, I'm kidding. But even if we didn't get to the playoffs, if we got close, if we had a 9 or 10, 11 win season and somehow we didn't make it in, I don't care. If we got a 10 or 11 win season, made it into the playoffs and then lost in the first round, don't care. That's still better by light years than what we had the year prior, and it shows an uptick from what we were to what we are. So I'm a realist. Now, obviously, I will accept if they win 13 games, totally tear the league apart, and somehow this Pete Carroll menagerie that he's brought together just snaps and works. That's possible. Let's try to remember, Washington was a laughingstock. Okay? Jaden Daniels got there, winner. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're that close. I feel like we're that close. I will give you 3 names that I think will really, really impact this franchise. Okay? Now, one of them obviously is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is our best, player on offense in my opinion, period. I haven't seen Ashton Jeanty do anything yet. So when we see it, good. But right now, Brock Bowers. Now, behind that, I really want to see Jake Besh, whatever Besh. I want to see Besh, the wide receiver. I want to see that guy go out there and make big plays and become someone. He's got a big muscular frame. He's got a lot of talk. And I kind of like guys like that. I mean, he's cocky. He is cocky. And if you watch one of his interviews, he's cocky. But see, I like that. I mean, he's young. Why do we want him to be a gentleman and bring out tea? You know what I mean? It's football, and we're the Raiders. I want to see that. And so I love that he basically said, I'm an animal, and I'm going to destroy people. It's like, that's a Raider right there. And I think he was talking to us. I really do. I think he was talking to all of us. When he answered that question that way, he said, don't worry, you're getting an animal. And I was like, right on. Now, as far as the movie, I think the movie's going to be great. The cast, I don't know if you guys saw this, but obviously the guy playing John Madden is Nicolas Cage. Only reason I say obviously is because you can still see Nicolas Cage's face, but the way they did his hair and the fact that Nicolas Cage gained weight, he really does look like John Madden. Plus the clothes, and then Nicolas Cage also talked about how he watched a lot of film study and was paying attention to the fact that John Madden had a habit of kind of helping his elbows back like this, and he would put his thumbs into his pants belt line and kind of stand there like that sometimes between calls or just before the ball was going to be snapped, and he would kind of walk up and down the line kind of with the elbows back like this. And he's saying basically little mannerisms like that. He's saying if you remember him, John Madden, or if you've seen old footage and you've seen how he, his mannerisms, how he moved, how he pumped his fist, or how he would scream sometimes and, take off his helmet, and, not his helmet, his headset and throw it. He's trying to emulate all of that. And then Christian Bale, and for those of you who don't remember, Christian Bale is the guy who played the last Batman series. Okay, he was in a movie called, what was that movie? The one where he keeps losing his memory over and over again. I think it's called Memento, but it's genius. Christian Bale is genius. He was in American Psycho. It's genius. So we're going to be able to run the ball. Pete Carroll's going to commit to running the ball. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the fact that he said it out loud. We're going to commit to running the ball. Ashton Jeanty's really going to get opportunities. And probably the best work we did in this last draft was on the offensive line. Because when you add that to what we did last year with Jackson Powers Davis, you know what I mean? That kid Grant, and they're just, you know what I mean? It looks good. It looks really good. If the whiny Niners have the easiest schedule, it's just the way the rotation worked out. I mean, if you think about it, except for 3 games, you can figure out what our schedule will be for the next 10 years, at least as far as the teams we play. I get all that, but however the format works out, I don't like it working out where that team gets one of the easiest, if not the easiest schedules in football. And they had a great season last year. You're not supposed to do that. It's no different than like the draft lottery. You're supposed to put in mostly the bad teams so they have the highest likelihood of pulling in some decent players. Well, in this instance, when you're one of the best teams in the league, I don't think you should be the team that should be getting the easiest schedule in the league. Because they're just phony. They're going to do what they always do. They're going to make a run to the playoffs, and everyone's going to think, oh, look at how great they are. And in reality, they're soft because they've been playing cottonelle tissue opponents. Baker says you a lie. I carry the ball with one hand all the time. Me too, says Lamar. Me too, says Josh Allen. Hey, those are established guys, okay? Those guys can get away with that because they're established guys, okay? If they want to run with one hand, that's on them. Excuse me. Oh, Michael Purifoy, right on, brother. You're going to be representing, all right, out there in Houston at the Texan game. I appreciate that. I'll look for you. Steven Shaw, one more time. It's my guy right there. Jimmy Mata, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Pete Vasquez, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Bill Cox, right? Pretty cool, huh? But would you agree moving Ramsey to safety? Raider Devillion, I actually do agree with that, but for a reason that might surprise you. I don't think that Ramsey is a particularly good tackler, but you see that a lot of times with guys that consider themselves more of a cover corner. Now, when I say more of a cover corner and they don't tackle, the first thing we do as guys and fans is we start harassing the guy. Oh, look, Dion made business decisions. Oh, this other guy, he was going to make the tackle, but, he's wearing a dress. You know what I mean? And we make all these insults, and we do it to make it this tough guy thing, and it's stupid. Because to be quite honest with you, I think Gordon Ramsay, listen to me. Jalen Ramsey, more than likely, is someone that he's concerned about injuries. You know what I mean? Because we've seen that now later in his career, these last few years, he's had a few bang-up times where he's had to miss games. And I don't mind that. I'd still want to look at him, you know what I mean? But I would expect him to be playing as a hawk. In other words, a ball hawk. Look for lanes to cut across where guys are running slants and posts and cut underneath that and make a play on the ball, because he's got there's only a handful of safeties in the league that can make a play on the ball and actually catch it. And when I say that, everyone, has an opinion of why didn't he catch the ball? It's easy to catch the ball, blah, blah. What you got to understand is that with the bright lights on, in the wind, sometimes in a dome, with 65,000 people screaming, fireworks going off, rock music, referees, your coach, your teammates, it's hard. Because you think about all those things in a blink of a second when you're thinking, I've got to catch this. And they're not built for that. And then more importantly, linebackers wear padding that's different, where it's harder for a linebacker to get his arms up above his shoulders up high like that. They can do it. And there are different designs of pads that are cut a little bit more lean that linebackers wear, especially the ones that like to run a little bit more, like our guy's going to be doing. I don't know if he has cut pads, but our middle linebacker we just picked up, Corey something or other, he's going to be nice, and he's one of those guys that moves. He's going to be using lateral speed. Brian Urlacher type of prototype. Probably shouldn't compare him to that guy. He was a pretty good player, but I still have my white R8RBEAR patch. I love it, Bear. Thanks again for being the best podcaster. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I need to read that again. I don't know if you guys noticed, there's a hat that I have right here, this one from the Las Vegas draft. Just because James Gray said that, I'm taking the opportunity to tell a quick story. I had a viewer about 3 weeks ago. He said to me, "Oh, Bear," he said this on a show. He said, "Oh, Bear, I love that hat. That was like the coolest hat. It was one of those cool drafts. I just really loved it, and I lost it, and it was a mistake. And it was like I let a friend, put it on or something. He told me some story. It was terrible, and he lost his hat. He didn't have it anymore. And I said, well, give me your address." And he was like all blown away. And I'm like, come on. And I'm not saying, I'm sorry. I know more people would like to be the person that I do that for, because I do it more than I let on. But I don't tell people, because I don't want everyone to feel like, well, why not me? You know what I mean? Because there's just too many people. There's no way I can do it for everybody. I try, like I gave out my shirt, to almost every subscriber I have. You're talking about $1,000 in shirts. And then another 1,000 mailing them all over the country. I did that. But long story short, I had another version of the hat. It was, not a version, but I had another one that was new, and I had it stacked over here with my other Raider hats. I have a whole bunch of size 8s over here too, and this particular one I had was a snapback, so I knew it would fit him regardless. And I just sent it to him. You know what I mean? So I try to do things like that. I still have my white R8RBEAR patch. I love it, Bear. Thanks again for being the best podcaster ever. He didn't add ever, but he meant it that way. Appreciate you, James. Looking forward to the O-line having an opportunity to play some smash football this year with the run game. Yes, especially when you consider Vernon. And Vernon, welcome to the show, brother. And especially when you consider that it's going to open up the play action big time, because we're going to be slaying them with that running game, and they're going to have to come up to try to help. And when they come up to help, and we've got guys one-on-one, I just want to see Dante run a post and go up tall and come down with it. In the end zone or not, I don't care, but I want to see that kind of throw. Raider Devillion, I'm absolutely worried about the Dischargers. They drafted the second best running back in the draft, who's very good. That's still a very good team. Raider Devillion, welcome again. And, honestly, I'm not trying to downgrade the Chargers too much, other than to say, Raider Devillion, they've never won anything! Just a lot of foots tonight. Put foots in them, okay? Are you serious? It's the Chargers, Raider Devilian. Stop it. No, right now. Stop it. They have how dare you say this about the Chargers? They have a proud tradition of losing that goes back 60 years. The fact that they let the Chargers leave San Diego was like a mercy killing of their fans. It's like, oh, whew, I don't have to wear this stupid hat anymore and say, let's bolt up and all that crap. I can just go out to the marina like I normally do, or go to Universal Studios, or catch a movie, go to one of 1,000 different great places to eat. You know, there's about 1 million better things to do in San Diego than go to a football game and watch a bunch of wimps in powder blue get their handed to them by the Raiders. Sorry, I was just getting that out. Shut up. Steven Shaw! Aw, Corinna, stop it. I love you more. Tim Newport, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hi, Raider Bear. We're getting a terrible thunderstorm, and the kids are inconsolable. It's going to be a long night. Tim, listen, I've got a remedy for you. See, I am what I refer to as a professional father. I consider myself one of the best. Now, here's what you do when you've got babies that are that young and they're just irritable and they're gumming because their teeth are coming in and stuff like that, and they have every right to scream all night long, but you're just trying to get them to go to sleep. Here's the trick. Go on Amazon or any gas station, because I see them at gas stations all the time. But you have those little pocket vibrators. It's one of those ones that they pretend is useful for when your neck is tight. And if you're at the office and you have a very important corporate job, you can take it and turn it on and just hold it on your neck for a few minutes, and it heats up and it vibrates. And you usually just put like a AA battery or a couple AA batteries in it. And, it'll work, for like a month, and then that's it. If you take that and put it underneath the padding or in between the padding. You don't want it against the plastic. But, their baby seats that you use, the car seats, you know how they always fall asleep in the car seats? It's because of the vibration from the car. So what you do is put them in the car seat like you're going to take them out on a ride, put the car seats on the couch so that they don't move too much, but then put the vibrator underneath them, but don't let it touch them. In other words, if they're laying on a blanket, put it under the blanket, and then turn it on like the lowest setting, and it'll just give them a little shaking, and it just knocks babies out. It just knocks them out. I told a doctor about it once, and he was like ready to kiss me. He thought it was brilliant. And then he started telling it to his patients, and they all came back and said, my baby's going to sleep now. It works. It really does. It really seriously works. I used to actually hold the arm of the chair that you put in your baby in the car. I used to hold it, and I would swing the actual chair in my arm, and I would stand in the doorwell, and I would hold on to the doorwell, and I would just swing it back and forth and like a swing until they finally went to sleep. And then I would sit the thing down on the couch, and right as I'd stop it moving, they would start to wake up. And so I tried the vibrator thing just because I just thought it might work, and it did. I think we can say the AFC West has the most elite group of, head coaches in NFL history. 3 Super Bowls and 1 Harbaugh who's made it. Harbaugh got there and got real close a second time. But I just feel like that was a loaded team, Raider Devilian. I think that what we're going to see, you and I, as fans and brothers, what we're going to see is we're both young enough. We're going to see this. We're going to see all of what Harbaugh does, from when he's hired to when he's fired. And we can both look back, because I'll still be doing this show. And when I see your face, and we're at the end of his, 3rd or 4th season, you and I are going to be able to talk about this, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think they're going to amount to anything. I don't care who they drafted. I don't think the Chargers have smart football people. And if you look at the top, they're like wine and cheese kind of people, the owners of the city. And I'm not saying there aren't people like that with all the other teams. Maybe they are, I don't know. But they're particularly snooty when it becomes the, what was that guy? I can't remember the last name, but the former owner of the Chargers, he sold basically to his son and daughter, and now they're taking the the franchise and running it, and the mom and dad who used to own it, they basically moved to Barbados. They're just there being rich, and they're letting the kids take on the headaches of day-to-day football stuff. And honestly, I thought that was smart. Jack Besh, thank you, Raider C-Dub. I love Jack Besh. I think he's going to be badass. I really do. Kenny Blair! All the way from the land of whiskey and crumpets in the UK, so I stick out my pinky. From my brother all the way from the UK, who's been watching me for years now. Much love to you, KB. You're a good dude. Speaking of animals, my Raider history goes back to 1967 when our defense was nicknamed the 11 Angry Men. I think they led the league in fumble recoveries, interceptions, and busted up quarterbacks. I miss those days. Steven Shaw! We're coming down the wire, everybody. Here we go. Let's see. Jackson Powers Johnson. I always say it wrong. Jackson Powers Davis is what I said. I mix him up with a center that we have. With my Golden State Warriors. Their names just sound so similar to me. Maybe it's just me. I'm definitely going to be attending the Houston game. The NRG Stadium is less than 10 minutes away from me. Oh, that's dope. You live that close? That's dope. I mean, even if it was an opposing team, I'd go to their games just because they're that close. That'd be fun. James, I appreciate the love, brother. I really do. No. Raider Villian says he still owes me a Brady Bear jersey. Listen, Raider Villian, I'm gonna go ahead and let you out of that one. You go ahead and don't worry about that. That's like saying you're gonna buy me dinner and you're gonna take me to Taco Bell. I'm all right. Ooh, the indigestion. I can't do it, bro. Ugh, just thinking about it. Ugh. You just got a panic attack by coming off triggered, and this is why the best social media team called you some Pop-Tart baddies. Piano Man is just striking tonight. Karina hello! Steven! Two of my benefactors here at Raider Bear Family Page. I wonder where Anna Diaz. Anna Diaz Rincon has spawned off and done a show of herself from watching me. I love that woman. She's so badass. You should check her out. Let's see. At Raider Devillion. Yo, let's not start BC. I'll keep it PG and not go PG-13. You can say whatever. I'll keep it easy with the Raiders. Curse, buddy. No CTE BC. We got Seau Jr. and Vincent. No joke about death. Piano Man, nope. No joke about death. And I don't care if you're not a Raider fan. I just enjoy people that like to enjoy football and want to hear it from the Raider Bear. So, I don't mind that. Just like you, as long as you don't give me the business. Steven Shaw! And I want to say this because King Juice said it best. Raiders! My 2-year-old, is screaming it with me. Yes! Raiders! I was out on my birthday and I was having a great time, and I was out with the guys from the Knights of the Shield. The Knights of the Shield had taken me out for my birthday to this great restaurant. Shout out to the Knights of the Shield. Got love for you guys. Anyway, shout out to my former president, Raider Tone. And they brought me to this bar and restaurant. It was super fun. They had a dance floor and everything. We were all getting lit up, and they had all this different, like, cool beer containers that were like a pitcher that was like this big, but it was like an hourglass. He kept tipping it, and it was incredible. And then the lady would come over and put more beer in it for us and refill it, and it was amazing. I had an incredible night. Shout out to Johnny Espinoza. Johnny Espinoza is my right-hand man. He basically told me to get myself trashed, and he was going to make sure I got home no matter what it took. You know what I mean? If he had to drive me home himself. So if you guys know Raider Johnny Espinoza, classy as it gets. I didn't have to ask him anything. The whole night he was just waiting after me. Great freaking guy. Hi, Corinna. Much love to you. And like me, he has a child with autism, and he is just a great father and a great man. Okay, I gotta stop talking about that now because I'll start crying. Somebody tell Johnny Espinoza what I said about him, though. Steven Shaw, come red natural, hello! Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. Hold on, I got one more fact, though. I gotta spit to you guys before I let you go. Hold on a minute. Go back out. Whoa, okay, there. Okay, so now, I think that we know about this thing, but when we know about certain things about our club or like additions with players and things like that, we tend to think about them, talk about them, and then we just watch what translates out on the field. I think the fact that we added this Tommy Mellott and that he's such an gifted athlete at wide receiver, I feel like we've brought in the next iteration of Hunter Renfrow. And that guy who is actually a lot faster is, if he can run routes and stay healthy, you got an underneath guy now that's a blazer. You got a guy in Besh that's a brutal wide receiver. We still got Jacoby Meyer. We got Dante probably going to win the one position. That's 4 guys. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, who Michael Mayer was in the Raiders' doghouse, was being mentioned in trades or being released a lot. And then all of a sudden the news about that went quiet. And I searched and I searched and I searched, and I was trying to find the story somewhere from anyone that I could find that could tell me what Michael Mayer did to get them to change their mind on him and why suddenly now he's absolutely staying on with the team. But Michael Mayer is staying on with the team, guys. We could end up having the best 2 tight end set in all of football. Who could argue a better 2 tight ends than Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer? And Mayer hasn't even exploded yet. I mean, we've all seen the talent. We've seen what he's capable of in little bits. But, we'll see. Steven Shaw and the lovely Vicky Ginn! Except for that little son of a monkey she's raising over there. Everything other than that about her, I love about that woman. You keep that little monkey away from my woman. That sneaky little son of a... You ever had a kid that's like 9 years old, walk in your house and hit on your wife? I have. Yeah, I'm just going to beat him on sight when I see him next time. I'm just going to give him the business. He's absolutely adorable. Super cute kid. I honestly thought it was awesome that he was so like, hi, Mama Bear. Hi. And then just immediately hugs her and he's just all in her face. Like, he's got balls. I like this kid. Go ahead, kid. You earned it. I don't care if he can hear me, okay? I don't care if he can hear me. I will hang you by your Buster Browns, buddy. Stuff you in your lunchbox. How about that? All right, now that I've threatened a child. I don't think I can top that. I could try, but I don't think I can top that. All right, that's my show. That's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. What? R8RBEAR! Woo! Let's go! Hour 2! I'm rolling right through! You know it's true! Here we go! No. Look, I got places to be tomorrow, okay? I'm going to bed! Knock it off! It was a joke! Steven! Carina! Steven! Carina! Good night right back to you, Troy Gill. Much love. Law Dog, I completely agree with that. Lucky, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love. Alfredo, you never snubbed, bruh. Never snubbed with the bear. Sup, Alfredo? God bless you right back, Stephen Shaw. Good night, Mrs. Shaw. No, that was just disrespectful. What the hell is going on the show? All right, that's my show. Much love.